Have you ever felt like the whole world was moving forward while you were just stuck standing completely still? Like success or luck had somehow chosen other people, and no matter how hard you tried, you simply weren't enough. That deep, isolating feeling of inadequacy might seem like a uniquely modern symptom of our hyper-connected world. But this title page shows a text published over 400 years ago, revealing that William Shakespeare captured this exact psychological state in his 29th sonnet. The poem begins in one of the darkest emotional spaces Shakespeare ever explored, tracing a path from total defeat toward a conclusion that mirrors the feeling of a sudden ascent. To understand why that eventual shift is so effective, we have to start by looking closely at the specific mechanics of the speaker's initial despair. Looking at the first line, Shakespeare introduces two distinct sources of pain, when in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes. First, fortune. Luck has abandoned him. Second, men's eyes, the piercing judgment of society. He feels everyone views him as a failure. He is totally cut off. He describes himself as entirely alone, stranded in an emotional vacuum, crying out to a heaven that refuses to answer back. He is trapped in a state of sheer, unyielding hopelessness. The question driving the rest of the text is how a human mind can possibly escape this level of isolation. When people struggle, the instinct is often to look outward and compare themselves to others. The speaker falls directly into this trap, obsessively focusing on everything he lacks. He begins listing his envies. He wishes he had another person's sense of hope. He wishes he had someone else's physical appearance, their circle of friends, and their specific talents and opportunities. This intense discouragement begins to drain the joy from his life. He admits the activities he used to enjoy most now bring zero satisfaction. Centuries before modern psychology studied the effects of social comparison, Shakespeare accurately mapped its destructive loop. The more the speaker looks at others, the worse he feels. His initial bad luck has evolved. By measuring his worth against everyone else, he is now actively compounding his own despair. At this point, the poem reaches the absolute bottom of its downward spiral. But then, the descent stops dead in its tracks. The entire trajectory of the poem hinges on a single word at the start of the 9th line, yet. Right in the middle of his self-hatred, an interruptive thought breaks through. He suddenly thinks of someone he loves. Shakespeare uses a beautiful metaphor for this emotional lift. He describes his mood rising like a lark, soaring straight upward from the cold, dark earth into the morning sky. The speaker remains in the same position he held at the start of the poem. No money has appeared, and his status remains low. The relief comes entirely from within, sparked by a redirected focus. We see the result of that shift in the final lines on the page. The speaker realizes that the thought of this love brings him such immense wealth that he wouldn't trade his life, even for a king's. Think about the emotional distance he covered. At the start of the poem, he envied absolutely everyone around him. By the end, he envies no one. Today, our metrics of comparison look a little different. We scroll through social media, we track professional status, and we measure wealth. But the psychological trap is exactly the same cycle of envy and isolation. The sonnet offers a timeless correction to that trap. It reminds us that external achievements and public approval can never fully satisfy the deeply human need for connection and belonging. Our darkest thoughts of inadequacy are not permanent. A simple shift in perspective, remembering the meaningful connections we already have, offers a sense of value that status alone cannot provide. If you enjoyed this journey into Shakespeare's mind, be sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shape us.